This is James with WSTrades.com. I want to provide an update here on ticker AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices. So they had a pretty flat day on Friday. They gained 9 cents or 0.09% on the day. So pretty flat. And looking at the daily time frame here, you see they made this crazy rip up here to 132.83, and since then it's been a pretty nice sell-off, and they're stuck in a downtrend here on the daily chart. And they broke through a key level here. So as we're looking at the daily time frame here, you can see they came down here and bled down to around the $100 mark. They bounced off of that, then started to sell off again, and they broke through that this past week. So you can see a big gap right here around that $100 mark. So gap down, huge sell-off, a little bit of a gap up, but then another sell-off to get that 9-cent gain there on the day. So kind of looking at it on the daily here, I mean, definitely in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. I don't really see any signs right now of consolidation or, this thing's going to be turning around. But, looking at this new range that it has fallen into, I could see it coming down and testing around the $90 level. If we get a little bit of bounce here and it starts to sell off again, now that it's down below that $100 mark, I could definitely see $90 coming into play. And then to the upside, again, that $100 mark, that's looking like resistance to me right now. As you can see back here, going to March, it had a rally up to that 100 level, rejected it really nicely, pulled back, and then boom, it just ripped through that. And then finally became a support over here in late August. So yeah, just kind of looking at it right now, definitely got my eye up there to 100. Definitely got my eye down here to about 90. But long term for AMD, you can see that they're still pumping out positive earnings here. Now the earnings reports we see on the chart here, although they're still positive, of course they're not as strong as they once were, and we've seen that with a lot of stocks, right? We also see that with Tesla. We see that with a lot of stocks lately. If we kind of come out here to the weekly time frame, you can see much stronger quarters in the past where they were making 73 cents a share, 92 cents a share, $1.13 a share, $1.05 a share. So, of course, these numbers are a lot lower, but, still able to remain a profitable company. So let's kind of take a look here in Yahoo Finance, and let's look at some of their financials. You can see it here, like operating margin over the last 12 months, negative 1.73%. Return on assets last 12 months, pretty flat, negative 0.35%. Return on equity last 12 months, pretty flat, negative 0.05%. You can see revenue here the last 12 months, almost at $22 billion. Quarterly revenue growth year over year, again, not the greatest, negative 18.2%. But you can see a $12 billion gross profit the last 12 months. You can see $3.1 billion for EBITDA in the positive there. Quarterly earnings growth year over year, again, not the greatest there, negative 94%. You can see they have $6.29 billion in cash the most recent quarter. And you can see here that their current ratio is over 2, so that's definitely good. So they got plenty of assets and cash to kind of handle any short-term liabilities. Book value per share at 34. So of course, like a lot of tech companies, you look at their fundamentals and they're overpriced. We see a lot of this going on with the Nvidias, the Teslas, different companies like that. It's pretty common to have them overvalued when you look at fundamentals like book value per share. But you look down here at the cash flow statement, they still got $2.4 billion in operating cash flow the last 12 months. Levered free cash flow the last 12 months, $3.59 billion. So you can still see that AMD is pumping in a ton of cash. So yeah, in the short term, they're in a downtrend. They could move lower. Again, I don't see any sign of, consolidation or, this downtrend is over. But, for the long run, I think higher prices are going to come back for AMD. I think better earnings quarters will come back for AMD. But, we'll kind of see what happens here. I'd love to see this thing continue this downtrend and continue to bleed out. Because if we look here at the beginning of the year, they were down around the $60 level. You can see $63 right here. So yeah, these people that were buying like late 2022 and early 2023, boy, they got a great deal. Even where the price sits right now. So, short term, again, it's looking bearish on AMD. It's looking like they could continue to bleed out. But long term, I like their financials, I like their cash flows, I like a lot of what's going on with them financially. So I'm definitely bullish in the long term on AMD, and I think some of these higher prices will return. But things have been pretty rough. Global economy has been trashed for a while now. So I think there are brighter days ahead for AMD, and again, if they keep selling down, it would be great to snag shares at 90, 80, 70, 60. I don't know if they'll go that low, but if they do, I think those are good prices to buy in at. So I'll continue to keep you updated here on AMD or advanced micro devices. Please like this video. Please also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Appreciate you for taking the time to watch this. Talk to you soon.